Okay.
Laura, it's all going to be edited, so don't worry.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
The last one that I did, I just got very slowly drunk, and by the end I wasn't making any sense.
Wasn't that slow when you're listening back?
We ended on what, a home and away neighbours.
I think it was like, I've taken out this next segment because we spoke extensively about
But
neighbours.
20 minutes of neighbours. And everyone was like, why'd you leave the neighbours chatting? And I was like, you didn't hear it. It's not good.
It was great. Everyone was
It
really
was like 20 minutes of going, what time was Neighbours on in Ireland?
and then me going, it was on RT2.
But was it on twice a day? Because it was on.
Nah, we had home and away twice a day, but neighbours once a day.
Right, okay, yeah, that was the same. I can't remember the difference between the two.
Twice each day. Home and away.
You get home in the morning and away in the afternoon.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Hello, welcome to I Hate Doctor Who. It's Christmas, everyone. Nobody's going to acknowledge that they're here until I introduce them.
It's Christmas!
It's Christmas! So my name's Richie, and this is a podcast where I take people who don't like, watch, or really engage with Doctor Who, and I make them watch it. I choose an episode and I make them watch it and then see how they feel about it. So I've got two returning guests that have joined me for Christmas 2024. So my first guest was last on I Hate Doctor Who, Christmas 2017.
Wow, was it that long ago?
Yeah, we were recording it on garden furniture on my living room.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
It was creaky.
Yeah.
There we go. Sturdy table.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Yes, welcome back, Laura Doherty.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Is that how you say my last name?
Doherty.
That's
Could
great.
you say it?
I would go for Doherty.
Doherty. Do I hit the H?
What would the
What would you-
Irish person? Is that a good introduction to the next guest?
Yeah, Doherty.
Doherty.
Yeah.
Doherty.
Doherty is very
It's American, it's
North
kind of American, isn't
yeah,
it?
like Shannon Doherty.
Doherty.
Yeah. Doherty.
Because it sounds like I'm saying dirty in Irish
Yeah.
as well.
Doherty.
Doherty.
Come here to me.
I'm also joined by a more recent guest and
Yes?
I was going to
How are we going to
say my partner. No,
Yeah,
my
that's me.
more recent guest, Leah Silverlock.
Hello, thanks
who's
for having me
agreed
back.
to return also.
Yes, sober this time.
So far.
So far.
It is Christmas.
We're all going to get drunk and say stuff we regret.
I don't regret anything from the last one.
No, I just meant because it's Christmas. I just mean in the spirit of Christmas.
Oh, right, okay. I was like, I stand by all of my hatred of that episode that you made me watch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Wow.
4 episodes.
We'll have to be in the middle of a family drama. It is Christmas after all.
Yeah. So Laura, how have you been since 2017?
What's happened in your life?
What's been going on? No, have you had any more engagement with Doctor Who since 2017?
Absolutely none.
Absolutely
How many
none
doctors
whatsoever.
have we had since then? So we've had Jodie.
Peter Capaldi was literally about to regenerate, I think, when it was at Christmas.
Right. So was it Peter into Jodie? Into Shooty.
Into Shooty.
Yeah.
Well, into David Tennant and then into Shooty, sorry.
Of course, obviously.
Sorry.
I went to the Doctor Who exhibition at the National Museum of Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
I did go
How
to
was
that. It was great. I saw lots of things that I
Didn't understand.
I saw a few that I recognised. The Weeping Angel guy or girl. Yeah, the
Scariest thing in Doctor Who.
Yeah, that creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's very
to get to see
creepy.
that. And yeah, like other things where I was like, this seems cool. But that's about the extent of it in 7 years.
A lot of Doctor Who stuff out of context seems a lot cooler than it actually is.
Oh, well, I think after watching these episodes, I think I can fully agree. I think.
Poor Leah has to engage with Doctor Who passively quite a lot, don't you?
Yeah,
You enjoy it sometimes, though.
I do.
Usually if I start watching a classic Doctor Who, 10 minutes in, she'll get up and leave the room.
Yeah.
What's the one that will keep you there? Is there a doctor that will keep you there, or an era?
Probably a Peter Capaldi.
Oh yeah.
But I do like the Sylvester. I was about to say Sylvester Stallone. What's his name? Michael Sylvester. No, wait.
McCoy?
No, keep going. I'm enjoying this actually.
McCoy? Is that it?
Sylvester McCoy.
Sylvester McCoy.
I was just thinking of Chris.
His episodes are quite good.
Oh, yeah, it's because I've been watching. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of them.
Mainly
recently.
because you're obsessed with Ace.
I'm not
She's
obsessed.
a real
Obsessed
troll.
with Ace.
Oh.
That's not what I would say.
Yeah, you are.
Wow.
Obsessed.
Keeping tabs on her.
His eyes light up whenever she's on screen.
Let's move on from this.
She's Ace.
Can you please remind me of the format of the podcast?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I did say it at the start, but I'll say it again. So, the format of the podcast is that I take people from my life that don't watch Doctor Who, and then I make them watch it, and then we talk about it, and I enjoy a fresh pair of eyes on something that I love. Because obviously I spend quite a lot of my time talking to people who love Doctor Who, and we're generally all saying the same things and having the same points of view, and so it's nice to have someone come in and be like, Richie, I hate this.
Well, that's good
Get
to
ready.
hear. Yeah,
So-
that is good to hear.
Yeah, this is the Christmas episode, right?
My first question is:
Uh-huh.
is it a Christmas episode?
It's not a Christmas episode.
That was
Right,
my
is it-
first question.
yeah, okay.
When I was watching, I was
no,
like, why are we
but
watching a
no,
Christmas
I know.
episode?
Look, I was kind of. So I spent a lot of time thinking about this. I was trying to figure out what to do for the Christmas episode because there are no original series Christmas stories. There's nothing Christmassy.
Okay.
Anything. So I was trying to think like I didn't want to just do a new series Christmas one because I thought it was more interesting to talk about because the older ones are there's so much more to talk about, and I thought, well, I got to find something that's got kind of maybe like a sort of Christmas TV kind of vibe, maybe, kind of. And I think classic Doctor Who just in general has a bit of a Christmassy TV kind of vibe, and that way that like in December perfectly normal things take on a bit of a like eating a bit of chocolate in the morning.
What? So that's something we
It's
do
very-
normally throughout the year.
Yeah.
By Christmas
By
time.
Christmas,
It
got
feels
a
more
bit of-
special.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
more special, yeah.
It
Yeah.
upsets me that you spent a long time, or a lot of time, as you said, thinking about which episode to pick, and then you
Well,
chose
the other-
this one.
I know, but
Oh wow!
No,
I actually
right.
kind of feel a little bit like a couples therapist. Why don't we just, right, Richie? Before you respond, why don't we just sit with that for a couple of seconds and think what you did to us?
But no, there was another reasoning. Is I was looking through all the air dates. And I was like, so what episodes were on at Christmas?
Okay.
And this-
Which one? Because there were, spoiler, 4 that we had to watch.
Part 1 was on the 28th of December, 1974. So it was on during the Christmas holidays.
I'll give you that.
Question for Laura.
Okay.
How do you feel about being asked to watch an episode that's actually 4 episodes?
Well, okay. So at first I was like, rude, but I did have a 4-hour train journey. I guess I had 2 4-hour train journeys within the week that I knew. So I was just like, well, okay, I've got time. And then also I thought they're 25-minute episodes. So what is a modern day episode, like an hour? So it's just like one episode.
It's essentially the same length as a 2-part.
So I thought
It's very diplomatic.
And did Richie let you know that it was 4 episodes?
He did, yeah.
Oh right.
And when he sent the text message, I was angry. And then when I looked at the running times, I calmed down.
Okay.
Also bearing in mind the 4-hour train journey.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. So you did learn a lesson after the last time you tricked me.
Tricked. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, and everybody gets the same level of annoyance.
So you just.
It's like watching a film,
Okay.
kind of.
Yeah.
But I mean, I always try and say as well, like, I mean, I know we've just watched them all in once, but I do try and say to people, they weren't made to be tanned in one go.
Yeah. I mean, we had this whole discussion on my last appearance on this show.
So
Yeah.
in terms of pacing, obviously, it can get a wee bit like.
Yeah, because you need a week to forget. That's why.
It's quite funny knowing that you. I mean, did you literally just watch them? Like,
Just now.
But that's why the vibe was so off when you arrived.
Oh, I
Because we just
see,
finished.
I
And we were
see.
like, right, okay.
Leah's
Okay.
just back from New York as well, so she's also jet lagged.
It's almost like you just regenerated and you're trying to make sense of
Exactly.
who you are.
A new face materializes for the Doctor to fight a new enemy.
A weapon that walks and thinks, anthropomorphic.
If they force him to go against his prime directive, it will destroy his mind. He'll go mad.
And start a nuclear holocaust that would turn this little planet of yours into a radioactive cinder suspended in space.
Humanity must be destroyed. It is evil, corrupt.
Tom Baker is Doctor Who in Robot next Monday, 11:45.
So, if anyone hasn't figured it out from
right.
the air dates, where the episode that
Imagine they had. Imagine they were like, I know exactly what this
Somebody-
is.
a lot of the
Somebody-
audience is going to be like, oh no, well, apart from it not being the title of the podcast anyway.
But somebody out there will
Some
will have paused
detective
it.
Yeah, I
will
know,
have
we'll figure
deduced it from the title of the podcast.
But we're so we're looking at the story Robot, which aired from the 28th of December 1974 to the 18th of January 1975.
Woo.
It was the first story in series 12, and it was the very first appearance of Tom Baker, who's kind of like the Doctor to a lot of people. He's like the one.
Is he your one?
No, but he's
Okay.
But
I
like
see.
he's still, I still give him the credit he's due,
A little bit of reverence.
No, I've just got that. It's a bit like if you were a big Queen fan, you wouldn't be like, my favourite song is Bohemian Rhapsody,
Why?
Well, because it's just the one that everybody like.
This
It's the
is,
one,
This is the real Richard Morgan now
Oh, you don't
exposing
wanna-
himself. He doesn't like what other people like.
I don't want to be obvious like the
Yeah.
rest of them.
I'm a real fan. I like the obscure.
It's not what.
You probably hadn't
my
heard of
God.
him. My favorite Who.
Sylvester Stallone.
It's Sylvester Stallone.
Michael Sylvester.
I haven't just watched it with you. It's funny when you watch Doctor Who with someone.
Is it funny?
No.
No, it's funny. It's funny when you watch something that that you're quite comfortable
Yeah.
watching and just happy with. But then when you watch it with someone else, you can feel the energy, and you're like, oh, okay.
Hey, I was pretty good. I was
No,
fine.
you were good. You were. You didn't complain or anything.
No.
Outwardly.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what your notes are.
Pen
I
to
feel
paper
like-
tells a different story.
I feel like we might have had different experiences, maybe. Spoiler.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm intrigued.
Well, if you could describe the episode in one word, how would you describe it?
That's a good question.
Is this your first? Is this your first exposure to like old Doctor Who?
No, because I think my dad's family are fans, so it would be on in the house. So
right.
and I remember one time, I can't remember if I spoke about this in the last episode or not. Last time I was on, because it was a long time ago. One time I pulled a muscle in my neck and I couldn't move, and then my family went out to mass and left me with Doctor Who on, but I couldn't move to turn it off, and it was kind of like torture in a way. Is the way that I would describe it, but also I survived.
Okay. Do you have any memory of it? I'm just curious to know what episode it was, but you probably don't.
It wasn't this one, but there were some robots going about. Maybe Cybermen. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
I did think when we first saw that POV, which also was great and didn't really translate to the actual costume at all. But I did think, oh yes, this is going to be Cybermen.
Oh really?
Because I love Cybermen, and sadly it was not.
Oh.
Also, I put a note about the POV.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think they'd give the robot better vision.
I know. I know. It was a bit like looking through the glass in like your grand's bathroom door, which is always what I think every time I see that POV. And also, I noticed that when the robot's POV, it manages to move with a lot more finesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I quite enjoyed the hands in the POV. They
know.
were.
I didn't enjoy the robot's knees as bending as it walked. It was not well
I
acted.
didn't even notice that.
They clearly hadn't. I guess it's the 70s. They've no exposure to robots, really. But they don't know how to act.
There's no Boston
a robot.
robotics or
Yeah,
it's just kind of what you've seen in films.
Question. I'm sorry. I know the word. Wait, are you going to ask us questions?
Oh yeah. How so?
No, fire away. If you've got a question, let's do it.
Is K9 a version of K1?
No.
And did Kettle? Okay.
No, I know. I know what you mean, but no, K9 and K1 aren't related. Funnily enough.
Wait a minute. What's K1?
K1 was
the name of the robot.
Oh, is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
I got a lot of questions.
then K9 is Richie's favourite companion.
That's not-
apart from Ace.
That's not true either.
Yeah, it's true.
Leah's
You
just
love
saying that
dog.
because K9 appeared in an episode, and I was like, I got like a wee bit emotional.
Aw. Are you more jealous
Sorry.
of Are you more jealous of the robot dog or Ace?
Good question. Probably not really jealous of either of them.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, but K9 did. The appearance of a robot dog made Richie cry.
It wasn't a cry. It wasn't like a cry. I didn't like burst into tears or anything. It was just.
You're very emotional, my love.
Like a whimper.
No, it was a bit like this. Hiding his face, wiping his tears.
That's very sweet.
That was
very
like when we
sweet.
watched when we were watching Picard,
Oh, yeah.
and then when they Leah's just watching this stuff and she's not thinking anything. But then when they all get
Not thinking anything.
No,
Not thinking your peripheral
I just
little
mean-
brain.
She's not thinking about.
Nothing going on.
I just mean you're not thinking about like
The significance.
Okay.
significance
Yeah,
of what's
yeah.
happening, and they all go and they sort of there's a bit.
Spoiler alert for anyone who's not watched Picard.
Yeah, I mean, if you've missed this, then I don't know how to. But anyway, 3/4 way through the series, it's like we need to get a ship, and then Geordie's like, "I've got
Geordie.
a ship, actually
In the
that
back.
you guys are going to want to see."
I've got the
And
ship.
He's fixed the Enterprise D, and then when the lights come on in the Enterprise D, and then they all walk onto the bridge, and it's the exact same set,
Wow.
and I was like,
Richie lost it, but all he said was, "It's got the Enterprise carpet." And then just burst into tears.
yeah, it was very emotional. But I remember, when Leah noticed, it's funny when Leah notices because it will go for a wee while before she catches me, and then she'll go, "Are you all right?"
Quietly sobbing at the carpet. That's adorable.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Anyway. Hey, we're not talking about Star Trek,
This is
but
not
that was
a Star Trek podcast. I'd love to do a Star Trek podcast.
No, it's not time for I Love Star Trek. It's time for
I hate
Doctor
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
There you are. Now, come along, Doctor. You're supposed to be in the sick bay.
Am I? Don't you mean the infirmary?
No, I do not mean the infirmary. I mean the sick bay. You're not fit yet.
Not fit. I'm the doctor.
No, Doctor. I'm the doctor, and I say that you're not fit.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor. The definite article, you might say.
Look here, Doctor. You're not fit. and
Not
if you-
fit. Not fit. Of course I'm fit. All systems go.
Obviously, there's going to be a couple of things. You're kind of thrown into the middle of a situation. I realise that as well, but I figured, I'm sure you'll pick it up.
Thank
But
you
right
for
then-
believing in us.
Thank you very much.
The opening, you see John Pertwee fading off and he turns into Tom Baker.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are your initial thoughts watching all that transpire?
I wrote down, I loved the montage of him trying on different outfits.
Oh yeah.
That felt very kind of like rom-com-y. I was like, oh, has he chosen this because it's the girls?
Oh, yeah.
And so I thought, like, I don't like to admit this, but I had recently been watching the Sex and the City movies in the background while I was just like cleaning in my room, and there's a montage section in that, and it made me think, oh, he's kind of like Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah, they were so ahead of their time.
They
knew what the girlies wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, this is one for the girlies. You know, like, is he like a medieval knight? Not the vibe. Thumbs down from everyone in the room. Do I have a big long scarf? Yes, girly, that's your look. Slay.
Oh yeah, I love how the Brigadier's like, yeah, that's fine, let's go with that. But also, he clearly was looking at the other outfits and going, nah, man.
No, the clown one, the little sad
clown.
mime clown,
and the kind of Alice in Wonderland one as well.
Oh yeah, there was 3 references to Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Was there 3? What was
Yeah.
Because there was the one at the end when he says,
The curiosity,
Curiouser and Curiouser.
and then there was one with the cards.
Was that an Alice in Wonderland reference?
Oh, what did he say? And I was like, I'm sure that's from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, well, we'll never
So
know.
we'll need to ask Big Tegs.
He's dead. He's dead.
I know. I'm sorry, my love. I have thoughts. So you can tell everyone hates the scarf on set. The most impractical thing ever. See when he's jumping over the fence and it almost gets stuck. Like everyone hates it, and I started to hate the scarf.
Oh,
It's funny because I guess it's his first story as well. It's kind of funny watching it as his first story because Tom Baker is quite wacky, but he's a wee bit more wacky, I think, in this.
Oh, also, is Tom Baker the voice of the robot?
No.
Oh.
It sounds exactly like him.
Oh.
Although I put a note for the first time that you hear the robot, a robot has big Mr. Freeze energy because he sounds so much like him, but then he becomes more Welsh as it goes on.
Well, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He sounds like he's, I can't remember what he says, but he's just basically like, he sounds like Mr. Freeze.
Right. Okay. I'll need to listen out for that next time.
I have a couple of things to say about Mr. Doctor. So we have the Doctor, and then we have Mr. Doctor.
Oh, Harry.
Mr. Doctor.
So that's Harry.
Is the Lieutenant
It's
Doctor.
very confusing to have two doctors.
Very
No,
confusing.
well,
And also, Mr. Doctor, he can't be very good because he didn't even know that the Doctor had 2 hearts.
I know, it's funny they sent him in to be like, we look after him. Oh, by the way, he's an alien.
Yeah, he's not got a clue who he is. Didn't even know that he had 2 hearts. And also, I think there's that.
He must have been because that's Harry's. So Harry's are in it for a while.
Yeah.
But that's his first episode. So I'm assuming he's first day on the job and some stuff's happening. He's been thrown in.
I really liked that kind of. I felt that's like a real like subplot going on, like the friction building between Mr. Doctor and the Doctor.
Right.
I wrote down Mr. Doctor hates the Doctor.
He doesn't hate him. He's just a bit taken aback.
I didn't like the episode.
Okay.
The first one.
Just like that's me done for this interview. I didn't like
I
the
won't be
episode.
saying any more.
No, I will. Look.
I mean,
I've got. Sorry, I didn't even. I put my unit figures on the table. So Benton and the Brigadier's looking straight at Leah. Well, she's like, I didn't like it.
I just didn't like that one, like the first part.
Oh, okay.
I have some more notes as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's more on the girly theme. I wrote Sarah Jane's purple outfit, love heart.
Oh yeah.
And Hilda Winter's girl boss.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like this is what. So I was speculating with Finlay earlier, chatting a bit about the episode, and I didn't know. I wasn't sure how many like strong female characters are generally in Doctor Who, or if you picked this one specifically because it's girl boss.
I didn't even. That wasn't even a. Yeah, but okay.
But I mean, are there generally strong female characters? That's why you love it so much, as a feminist yourself.
I think it's like, I'd be hard pushed to call a lot of them like strong. Like they wouldn't be by modern standards good feminist characters.
No.
But by 70s standards, I think they were a wee bit more.
I'm giving you a lot of.
I know you are. But like they tried to, Sarah Jane was kind of, well, you saw it. You watched Sarah Jane, but she was like journalist.
Yeah,
a journalist. A journalist. I'm just going to interrupt you there, Richie. A journalist who did not take one note, and
unlike yourself, I can see extensive notes,
and was dismissed consistently. I think, and it's not to get on my big feminist vagina high horse here, but that is a very common thing in old Doctor Who. They're either silly little girls or they're evil women.
No,
and Winters was an evil.
Both. But this is what was
an evil woman.
What I'm saying was.
It was a different time, was it?
Yeah,
sorry, Richard.
Look, I've got no. I like. You're right. I've got nowhere to go with it. I'm not like I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here and say these are great. This is great female representation.
No.
I mean,
And
I
also-
don't think the male representation is that good either. Like,
No.
they're all quite wishy-washy and rubbish at their jobs.
Yeah, and also
So-
they hate old people. Old people are very easy to dismiss, is what I've written here. And also, men think they know best. Those are my
Was that-
four themes.
I do feel it is funny that they still write it like that, but then sometimes when it serves the script, they do write it in the way that like the men are being dismissive and silly, and then the woman is like.
I fully appreciate that you have two women staring at me, forcing you to talk about this. We can fully appreciate it for what it is, so don't worry.
But I mean, also like those characters are definitely just written in to be. They're the ones who get in trouble and ask the Doctor questions.
Yeah.
And that's but the one I mean I can't even. The funniest thing about doing this with you is like. I can't be like, oh, but the next one is, and then you won't know who I'm talking about. But the next character is like, they get like a sort of, they get this character called Leah in as the companion next, and she's great.
Is she the sexy
because
one? Yep.
She's the. I was just gonna say she's the one that's like, she's kind of the strong. She's like, I'm going to fucking kill everyone. Anyone who looks at me the wrong way, giving it all like she's a fighter, and she's like, but then also they've put her in like savage rags.
Yeah.
So she's
Oh, sexy rags.
Sexy 70s rags.
Where did they find her? Like, did he go back in time? Was she
It
like
was
a
more no.
cave person,
She
or-
was. She's kind of like Basically, what happened is that she is the descendants of a crashed spaceship, and they have like regressed into being more kind of primitive,
type.
basically.
Okay, interesting.
So she's from the future, but she's
also from the past.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a real Doctor Who plot. It's a real character. Why does
It's funny because I'm not in any way qualified to to talk about this.
Talk about what?
I'm sitting here like scratching myself
I
like
know,
I'm
you're
suddenly.
very nervous.
I know.
Why does Doctor Who have a car when he has a TARDIS that can go anywhere?
Well, sometimes you just need a car. No, well,
Why?
so the car came in when his TARDIS wasn't working.
Was his TARDIS not working when he was there?
So basically, all right, okay. So the deal is when
sorry.
basically the deal is that the previous Doctor started by he was banished to Earth, and
Oh, so this is only the second ever Doctor.
no, he's no. This is Tom's the fourth.
Right.
But the third Doctor started like it was kind of a soft reboot of the show, but he was
Right.
like he's been banished to Earth. He can't leave Earth. He's stuck in the same time, and that's how he ends up getting a job with this military organisation. So that's why he's the scientific advisor. But then at some point the TARDIS gets fixed and he still hangs about. So the whole thing is like.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
So, but in the first episode, he steals a car, but then he has to return it, and they're like, "We'll get a similar car," and that's how they end up with Bessie.
So quite a lot of it is set on that base.
Yeah, for a period of time, and this is the last episode that's set on that base.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't think I would have enjoyed a lot of like the military life.
There was
to be
no
honest.
space.
It's a good I mean, I quite like the dynamic. You've got lots of different types of characters. The Brigadier always wants to deal with things in a certain military way, and then the Doctor's there, just messing about and being a messer and
Being a messer.
being a messer and generally like, but also doing the right thing.
It feels very 70s British. I know, obviously, like Doctor Who
It's
is
funny
like
that, isn't it?
iconically British, but it really
That's
does
so insightful.
feel very like 70s military.
Like Dad's Army.
Yeah, like TV of its time.
I know, but I think the thing about UNIT, like to have military characters in it, again, it creates a tension because the Doctor doesn't want to solve things by blowing it up, and that's their response to practically everything. So there's just a constant push and pull, which is a bit of fun. But also, you'll notice as well that all the soldier guys in the entire episode, none of what they did worked.
No, very unorganized.
Yeah.
No,
they were
I just mean in the sense of like.
terrible. Like, see, like the people
The
didn't
message-
even jump out the way of the road. They were just like, what can I possibly do when this slow walking thing is coming toward me? Like,
I know. Well, yeah, I wrote down somewhere. Yeah, someone had plenty of time to get away.
I just like there's a lot of stuff written into that period of Doctor Who where it's kind of like, I mean, by having those characters there, and this is how we deal with things, but look at how little it works. It never works, and the right thing to do is to kind of consider it and investigate it and deal with it the way the Doctor does, which is by messing.
I do like it. Like, there's like, do you know what? Be silly, be messy, have a big scarf, be sensitive. Those are the ways to deal with the big issues in the world. Because, you know, like, what's her chops? SJ is like bringing her sensitivity to the table. That, I mean, you know, obviously a major flaw in a character to show weakness. But no, that's a joke. I love her sensitivity. And so obviously that was a good thing. And then all the I just assumed that they just at the time that those kind of fight scenes were revolutionary. I assumed at the time, probably even though they looked. Oh right, okay. They were not good.
No, I mean the only thing that was on a technical level, something that you wouldn't have even thought about when you were watching it, but like the exterior scenes are shot on videotape. Mm-hmm. At that point, most TV was shooting exterior scenes on film. So you'll notice, and it used to be if you watch a TV show, you know, when you watch a sitcom, and it's like we've got the studio, and then somebody steps out into the garden, and suddenly it's like
totally different.
It's completely different. It's always it used to be like that, but they shot it on videotape so they could do the effects with the robot, but it creates a
there were effects.
Really? I thought that was all real.
Creates some good vibes, including the weird we can get into that later, but the forced perspective toy tank.
Oh my god, the toy tank. I literally just wrote, is that a toy tank?
I think I put that
as well. It was so small.
Love the scene with the tank. That was all I wrote.
They didn't even try with that. They didn't even try. They were just like, we've had enough. This is episode 4. We're done. Right, let's get that. Breakout stars for me. Mm-hmm. Benton.
Okay, Benton.
Very lacks confidence, I think.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest,
massively in love with Sarah Jane.
I actually didn't know who Benton was. I think he didn't even.
This guy.
Yeah, I know, but until you showed. So the talk for the listener, we've got the little. Do you call them toys? Have you got a different name? Figurines.
Toys, fine.
Figurine. No, he wants to call it figurine.
Figurine.
Collectible.
We've got a little Benton figurine sitting here, and I was like, oh, was that the man doctor? Because I couldn't think of another character. So you're saying that I forgot him already, and it
breakout
was
star
3 days ago.
I guess it was like he does play just soldier character though. That's the thing.
He holds a tray of 4 cups of tea for about 45 minutes while he's trying to solve something, and he's just holding a tray. Just put it down. But he's waiting for an order. He's a very good soldier. Good
soldier. Interesting.
But lacks confidence. I think can't make decisions, and is in love with Sarah Jane.
But he's he's a soldier. He's there to take orders, isn't he?
Yeah, that is true.
So that was your breakout star.
That was my breakout
who I
star.
completely didn't notice.
I mean, Mr. Doctor also a breakout star, but I will forever call him Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Doctor. I like Mr. Doctor. I thought he was a lot. He seemed like
he was a lad. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's good.
He is good. I like when he turns up. They keep calling him James Bond, but then he turns up dressed as John Steed from the Avengers.
Who's John Steed?
Well, this was a reference that went right over our heads.
Do you know the Avengers?
Like the one they did a reboot.
They did
was it Uma Thurman.
They did an Uma Thurman film in the 90s, but it was Diana Rigg and. No, okay.
I only know the Marvel Avengers.
Yeah.
Very different one.
Yeah. You're so disappointed. Yeah, I know.
Joanna Lumley was in the Avengers as well.
Oh, lovely.
From the new Avengers.
I would have to say actually.
Anyway, moving
on. This 4-part episode really made me miss having a house phone. I thought that was quite nice. They were always on the phone, and I miss the feel of the big chunky big cord.
Oh yeah.
And the rotary dial.
Did you enjoy the Brigadier's fucking enormous?
His giant mobile phone.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Great.
That was very good.
I like how it was also just a walkie-talkie.
The other weird thing about Doctor Who in this period, and that when they set stories with Unit and present day or whatever, is they have an inconsistency in that sometimes it's meant to be set in the near future and sometimes it's present day. Mm-hmm. But there's a continuity that just the continuity is a straight line, so they haven't actually. Sometimes they just forget that they're doing that, but they'll do the technology in. So this episode is meant to be set in the 80s, even though it's filmed in the 70s. But then sometimes they're filmed in the 70s, so it's they don't. I think it's maybe
They're
later.
doing the best they can, Richie. They're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
But-
Look, low budgets, not a lot of investment.
It's too much imagination.
Yeah,
Also,
a lot of
no, like-
imagination happening.
Yeah.
You need to give them a break. All right, they can't invent
I'm also
future
just saying.
technology.
The other thing I was going to say is it's also not important in any way, but like
No.
they have this sort of weird like near future technology thing going on quite a lot of the time.
I
So
also
they can just make up technology essentially and just be like,
Yeah.
that's something that's just been invented in the 1980s.
I think that the Brigadier has a lot of legs, and why wasn't there any breakout series about the Brigadier or
I mean-
episodes? Because obviously, like his legacy has continued because Kate is now the head of unit.
Yeah.
So in like the modern day one, the head of unit Kate is the Brigadier's daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, she's great. She's like one of the best characters, and she's not in it enough for me.
That's who plays Kate?
No, some
What's her
blonde
name?
lady.
Redgrave. Jenna Redgrave.
Okay, I shouldn't have asked about
Oh,
this.
okay. Right. Anyway,
Great. So
You'd recognise her. She's
Okay.
she's quite famous.
is she?
I don't know.
I only know her from Doctor.
I feel like I've seen her in a period drama or two.
Oh, probably.
there we
yeah,
go.
There it is. There it is. No, the Brigadier has a big legacy because his first
Okay.
appearance, that character's first appearance is in the 60s, and he's in the
Same
70s.
actor
Same
the
actor.
whole
He was in
time.
it. He was in it 60s, 70s. He did 3 stories in the 80s, and then there was like a weird spin-off film about him in the 90s.
So there was a spin-off.
Just like a very brief thing,
Michael Sylvester loves him.
and then he. And then he came
my
back.
favourite.
He came back for the Sarah Jane Adventures in 2000, and just before he died.
Why?
Why what?
Why is she like
Why is she the one?
Why is she like the holy grail of all of the companions?
I mean, is that question not answered by watching her?
You're sick, aren't you?
I'm just saying.
No, but I'm just asking, like, what? Why?
I don't think. No, you know what it is. I
Is
don't
she
think
so,
she's
like,
specifically
elevated?
the whole. But she does. It's just that she was in it at such a special time.
Is she like a babe? Is she like the pin-up companion?
I mean, like they all are. Most of them are. I just mean that like. She came at it. She had like a good chunk of time with John Pertwee, and she had a good chunk of time with Tom Baker, and it's like a whole period of the show that everyone's like, that's the
one.
You know, like that's considered like the golden era.
And she's Bonnie.
She is Bonnie.
But also, yeah, she's just a good character, and she's really nice.
She's a good character.
But then they
she's a
brought,
good
but obviously when they brought her
Terrible
back,
journalist.
they brought her back in the
I've
day.
left my notebook.
Please, I must go back.
Don't tell them.
They brought her back with David Tennant as a sort of, because they wanted to do a story to bring back, and I think she just seemed like the most suitable.
And what,
then-
the same actress?
Same actress.
Yeah, same actress.
Wow.
She died recently though, didn't she?
Oh, did she?
It wasn't. It was a while ago now. But she did, and then she got a spin-off show on CBBC,
No way.
With K9.
and she got K9
No?
wasn't in it. No. So and then she did like 4 seasons, and then she died.
Oh.
And it was there's a really sweet. Oh my god, it's a killer. But there's a documentary on one of the Blu-rays. It's like a feature-length documentary about one of the Blu-rays, and I forgot about this. But like the period after she left Doctor Who, I think she went back to being a teacher or something, and like her career wasn't, in terms of being an actor, didn't really go anywhere. And then, you know, because a lot of those actors in the 70s, it's just jobs, and then they kind of just get kind of quietly forgotten about. But then she came back, and then they gave her own TV series, and then like when she died, there was this flooding of like letters from kids, and I'm like getting emotional talking about it now. But like when they there's this like I remember seeing this montage of like just I can't remember if it was the actors or presenters or whatever reading just endless amounts of kids reading about how much they loved the actor, and it's just like such a nice ending to her story.
Hello, Sarah Jane.
It's you. Oh, Doctor. Oh my God, it's you, isn't it? You've regenerated.
Yeah, half a dozen times since we last met.
But in her TV show, she got to do an episode with David Tennant, and she got to do an episode with Matt Smith.
And it's her and her grandson.
So
or
the
her
son
nephew.
is like, she never had kids, and then this kid is like an alien boy.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
She kidnapped him.
Oh.
No, she's looking after him.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway, yeah, I
For
mean,
who? Who's she looking after him for?
for him, he's a child.
I know, but did his parents ask her?
I can't remember.
Okay. Right.
I never,
I love how much you hate us asking questions.
I know. Sorry, I
About
don't.
Doctor Who.
I don't hate you asking questions.
We're just
No, it's
asking. Like, this is like the episode. We're just innocently asking questions, and you'll be like, "Shut up! I'm going to do it this way."
Who gave her
I
parental
want to bring some
guardianship.
whimsy into
I know.
it, even
I
though
just-
you want to just get answers to things.
I just hate when I can't answer the question. That's the problem.
It's
like,
fine.
I don't.
It's fine. Part 2.
Part 2. So we spent the whole part one we didn't get to see the robot. We took the suggestions of
The
the
robot.
robot. And then
Did
in
we
part
not see
2,
him?
I thought we did at the end.
we got the end of part 1. That's when the
Oh,
robot comes
right,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, he's got big feet. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big square feet.
Big square feet, big, like, giant
Claws.
claw things.
Mm-hmm.
We know
Kind
that he
of
can
going
dig
together.
underground. Was that not in that
Oh
one?
yeah, that's right.
Was that in the...
Because he talks about being like useful for mining and all that sort of stuff as well. So he digs up through the ground. Yeah, I mean that's quite good because the thing about part 1 is they got to have him do all this impressive stuff, but because they didn't want to show him, they could be like, "Well, cut away and cut back," and now there's a big hole in the ground and he's stolen the.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
We've
he's after some
established that
disintegrator gun.
no one is taking Sarah Jane seriously, and I don't mean that as like a funny statement. That's just generally nobody is taking her seriously.
Right.
They're all like, "Well done, little Sarah Jane, on your job. Oh, go back to work." And then Winters and Evil Bald Man, whatever his name is, he could have been a breakout star, but I don't remember him.
Wait, the scientist who makes them or the
The
gingery assistant guy.
I've already forgotten his name.
Because there was that, I thought, girl boss moment when SJ goes in and she's like, "Hello, you must be the head," and Hilda's like, "Actually, that's
I didn't
me."
expect. I didn't expect. What was it? Male chauvinist attitudes from you.
Yep.
Well, turns out, Winters, you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I was like, you are. It's like total Thatcher, just being like, "Wow, you're just really setting a bad example for the rest of us."
Exactly.
So, thanks, Hilda.
We are
that.
both total boss babes. I'm disappointed by
Yeah,
Winters.
yeah, totally. I was like, Sarah,
Although
do your job better. Although the girl never sleeps.
No.
I didn't see her sleep once.
Or write an article.
Or
I happened off screen, I think.
Yeah, she's not a typewriter inside. Like, a journalist is dedicated to telling stories.
It's the 70s though. You
then.
could 70s. You could live for a month off one article.
Yeah, and you probably just like ring some girl and just say stuff over the phone, and she types it up for you.
Yeah.
I've seen Mad Men.
But that's probably Sarah Jane's job.
You run to a phone booth. I got a story that's hotter than a hot tamale.
Type it up, Joni. Let's go. I did write down at one point, Richie loves Sarah Jane. Sarah Jane loves the robot.
and
then I wrote SJ is a dick. Actually, she did break and entering.
She's doing her job. She's an investigative journalist.
You don't need to commit crimes.
I think you do, to uncover the real truth.
How do you think,
real crime.
How do you think Piers Morgan got to?
Oh God!
Right,
hacking the robot.
Part 2. I'm gonna have
mince pie.
Mince pie.
Ooh,
Oh,
right.
because that's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Christmas episode.
No, I'm okay. I've had
Christmas time.
quite a few mince pies already today.
What is your purpose, your function?
I am experimental prototype robot K1. My eventual purpose is to replace the human being in a variety of difficult and dangerous tasks.
What are your thoughts on the think tank that is introduced in part 2?
The think tank, which turns out to be
just two
scientific reforms. I was just two people. Oh, that's right. Because no, the think tank is separate from the group, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the think tank. Yeah, I'm sure there was more. There's probably more people working. You just didn't see them. There's a lot of things in Doctor Who. You're like, that was happening. You just didn't see it.
It's all just imagination.
Yeah, you got to use your imagination.
I love how there was like this big think tank and it was just two evil scientists running around a country manor.
But it did plant the seed of thinking about a tank, and then later on a tank turns up. So I think it was just a bit of foreshadowing for just to be like the think tank.
Think about a tank right now. Picture it in your head.
And then don't worry about it.
Don't
for
worry
like
about it
2
when
more
you
episodes.
And then when you see the tank, keep imagining a real tank.
Think tank.
It does sound like a 70s kind of safety message, doesn't it? Think tank.
I don't really understand what happened with Kettlewell. Kettlewell.
Oh, Kettlewell.
The scientist.
The stereotyping.
With the crazy hair. I really enjoyed.
Einstein.
I really enjoyed him and his insanely thick glasses.
Yeah, they were very good.
He must have had a terrible time. Like,
yeah, he definitely didn't need them.
It was good. He was a proper like doing the big blinks and looking up, like, because as a man who's just been forced to wear incredibly thick glasses.
Yeah, he looked mad.
Yeah.
What was his deal? So they were saying that he left, but then also, spoiler alert, he hadn't left them.
No,
so
so
why did they
essentially
even create that story that he had left?
I hadn't interrogated it that much. I hadn't asked those questions.
Yeah, like why even set it up like that? Because nobody was investigating them.
To like give the plausible deniability, to give them an out, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe he did disagree with the robot being, because he didn't like that they're using the robot for killing, and it was driving the robot crazy, because also he had that sort of robotic law thing where he couldn't kill humans.
The prime directive. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
I thought that was just a Star Trek thing.
No, do you know about the laws of robotics? Asimov's robotic laws.
Do you know about them?
Yeah.
Okay, go on then.
It's just a thing that comes up in science fiction a lot, but I think it comes from iRobot. I think the book was iRobot, not the Will Smith film. But did
Will Smith do a song for iRobot? Because he normally does songs.
I don't know.
What?
Did he do like a Getting Jiggy with It?
Do you think he was doing the Little Britain Dennis Waterman, where he every time he does a film, he's like, "How do you a theme tune?" And they're like,
no, you're all right, thanks. No, you don't need that.
Sorry, well, no, it's fine.
Just imagine him like doing a wee dance with all the robots.
Just doing like a robot dance.
Yeah. Just jive with me. Just jive with me. Take a walk with me because that's the prime directive. You can't kill me. Is that it? That's prime directive. Yeah, I've explained the law of robotics through song.
I'm going to have to Google it so I get it right.
And interpretive dance.
Yeah, but the podcast, the people listening can't see the amazing
that
dance.
Is true. There is no video. For all the listeners, Richie is just Googling the law of robotics.
Just so I get the wording right.
Yeah, okay.
So the laws are: a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm.
Oh.
A robot must obey orders given to it by human beings, except where orders would conflict with the first law. A robot must protect its own existence as long as protection does not conflict with the first or second law. That's the laws of robotics.
Do you think that they had the laws of slavery that were very similar to the laws of robotics?
See, right. This is
why I don't want you on the podcast.
Like, because a robot's a robot.
Is it?
Well, I heard the way you spoke to Alexa earlier.
But back, slaves weren't people.
And, I think as we've all learned
from Gladiator 2.
But also, right, at this point, robots aren't real either, so not like, well, they are real. I suppose robots are real.
Alexa, are you real? She said I'm totally real. Thank you.
We have this ongoing argument about how I talk to Alexa.
Yeah.
And I'm still I'm particularly aggressive to it. It's just
to it.
It's a fucking button. It's a talking button.
Alexa, close your ears.
Alexa's not real.
You're so wound up.
It's like what it'd be like if Leah went about fucking thanking the doors.
You don't thank your doors?
Do you not thank the house sometimes?
Do you know what?
Opening the cutlery drawer. Thanks for keeping these for me.
No, but you should. You should be grateful for the house.
See, during the summer, we went away to a little hut. Oh, it's nicer than a hut, but a little lodge, and I had a couple of days up on holiday there. And when I left, I made a very deliberate point of going, "Thank you, hut."
Yeah.
When I left, do you want to do that?
I get it, but I'm talking like, it's one thing to appreciate things in your life, all right? But it's another to say fucking thank you to
a robot who's turning on the telly, who's turning up and down the volume, who's putting on the radio, who's telling you the time. He's telling you the weather. Huh?
Okay,
Saving
fine.
you valuable seconds.
It's valuable, yeah.
You could be watching more Doctor Who's with those seconds.
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting is that this episode was so bad that we can't find anything to talk about of the episode.
I don't know if I thought it would. Oh, this
Hold
episode.
on.
Oh, wait a minute. This particular one, number 2. Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? The only note that the only note that I took was Professor is such a well cast scientist. What's his IMDb?
Casting, excellent.
Because I thought, I wonder if he's
He
in
was
like
good.
I know
other
it's mad to be like
things as a mad
you
scientist.
are a mad scientist. Like looking at him, looking at his hair and being
Yeah.
like. But obviously, if you take the glasses off him and cut his hair, he's probably just a normal looking.
I mean, at first I was
normal
like,
wee
is that
fella.
Salman Rushdie?
Imagine.
Well, do you know what? He turned up in Bridget Jones. So do you mind
Really?
that? Because in the first film, where she has to do her little speech, and then she talks about the book that because she worked for a publisher, being like, "Oh, this is the best book we've ever published," and she's like, "Apart from you, Mr. Rushdie," and then
Isn't it like sometimes I don't wonder why I want to be why I want to work in publishing or be a career person when our entire lives the only women we ever saw on telly worked in publishing. Do you not think?
Did what?
In like films and stuff, like all the big
Oh,
films,
yeah.
everyone worked in publishing.
Oh, like 13 going on 30. She worked at the
Yeah.
magazine.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Ugly Betty.
Bridget Jones, Ugly Betty. Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada, of course. Oh, thought she was too good for
Baby Boom didn't work in publishing, but
No, didn't she make
she worked
applesauce?
in
That was at the end of the film.
advertising.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello. You know, it's awfully good of you to allow this visit, Director. I hadn't expected male chauvinist attitudes from you, Miss Smith. I'm sorry? I'm the director, Hilda Winters. This is Arnold Jellicoe, my assistant.
Did you like this episode? Like, what do you think about Robot?
No, are we talking about the 4 episodes or the
full package?
The full package.
Yeah.
How do I feel about Robot? Yeah, I think maybe I made a bit of a rash decision on. Like, I maybe didn't think this through.
Did that not happen the last time that I was on the podcast as well?
So it's Laura's fault, actually.
It's because I was more thinking about I wasn't thinking about you guys, and I was thinking about, but no, I don't mind Robot. I think it's, it's a fine enough episode.
Oh, that's great.
I know,
It's
so
fine.
it's
I
fine.
think,
No, it's good. I wouldn't say it was a bad episode.
I think we've lost energy.
Is this so
Leave it
that
a minute.
that you? So is it like you you want to keep showing us like tepid episodes so that we keep coming back, so that you never actually win us over?
Yes.
So this is
we
like
continue to hate Doctor Who.
Yeah, he's like, if I show you a really
I
good
feel
one, then you'll be
I feel like I
converted.
wouldn't even describe it as tepid. I just, I think, you know what it is? Because I've just watched it with Leah. I watched it with Leah sitting next to me, and now I'm a bit like, oh.
I didn't say one word to you.
I know you didn't say anything to me, but I could, every minute I'm watching it, I'm imagining you watching it as well, and I'm like, oh no.
I think it was an interesting choice because the regeneration episodes are never incredible because it's always closing a chapter on the previous Doctor.
Well, that happened but the other thing in old Doctor Who as well is just he's regenerated, and we're off. It's like a minute. Whereas in the new ones, it's let's talk about what that means. How's he feeling? What's going on? Which is fine because that's what modern drama should be. It's just old Doctor Who is just very there's not a lot of
emotional
weight to things. No, we're not really deep diving into how anybody feels about anything. It's just mad adventures.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, a quote that I wrote down from episode 1 of 4 was, "You must cultivate a sense of urgency." And maybe this is what it's like. Do you know what? Shut up about your feelings.
Oh yeah.
And
We gotta go.
And I think that maybe our parents' generation watched a lot of this, and that says a lot of being let's don't dwell, don't talk about things, just get out there and be a boss bitch or whatever you want to do.
Build a
big robot. Don't talk about it. Don't investigate your feelings. Don't interrogate anything. Just do it.
Just go.
And that explains so much. I think now we're in a better place where we talk more about things. And you know,
and that's just what we expect from our dramas as well, I suppose. Yeah, it's just different, isn't it? It's just different. It's very. Also, the episodes are 25 minutes. I know we watched a 90-minute. I'm going to stop talking now. Actually, I'm just digging myself into a hole here. I was going to say the episodes are short. It's like they're not exactly films, you know, in terms of production. It's very like light.
Yeah, but I feel like what's it set up? The only thing that it's actually set up for the next season is that Mr. Doctor is a companion.
It doesn't. This is again. You're looking at it through like a modern lens. It's not. What do you mean? What's the setup? It's not like the setup is that we have a story and then it ends, and then the next episode is a new story. Apart from the only thing that happens actually is that there's like a run of stories in this season where they don't have the TARDIS, and they're kind of just getting lost because the Time Lords pick them up and they send them back to the beginning of the Daleks, and they're like, you need to stop the Daleks being created.
Oh, but they obviously didn't do that.
They didn't do that because basically he gets faced with a decision about blowing up the Daleks,
and his robotic,
and then he has a moment of like, do I have the right?
Oh,
you know, and then it's
wow,
that'd be cool.
But they have
Why didn't we watch that episode?
Because it's 6 parts.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
But they have like a time ring instead of and that's as much as an arc as you're going to get, like storyline wise. Even when they did like a series where every episode story in the series was about one thing, they were still just individual episodes, and then they would have a bit at the end where they're like, oh, we're dealing with this, by the way, because you couldn't tape it, you couldn't watch it again, it was like it was on and then it was off, and then you were like, I'm never, you know.
I did notice there was quite a lot of, although it was 4 25-minute episodes, quite a lot of the start of it was just repeating what was at the end of
it.
The
It was funny. I was thinking this when I was watching it. It's like it's not normally as long as that, and I was like, oh, these episodes coming a wee bit short, did they? Because the fucking length at the start of the episode from the end of the last episode was. But yeah, normally there's a bit of an overlap where they're like, here's a bit of the previous episode, because again they didn't have previously on. It was just we're here. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to watch it because I was talking to someone.
Interesting's a word.
I was talking to someone recently who was saying that like I've been trying to watch just like because we're always trying to figure out different ways to watch it. But it's like I've just been watching random episodes instead of watching stories.
Like on shuffle.
Yeah, which must be weird.
That'd be weird, yeah.
I guess when you've seen them 100 times, seen all of them, you know everything that's going on. I guess it's but it's nice to isolate episodes and be like, what's this episode bringing? What's this episode bringing?
But your answer is nothing. They're not related. So stop thinking about it, Leah.
No.
That was what you were saying earlier. So now you're saying that they are connected.
No. What I mean is like individual episodes, individual parts of a story.
Okay.
Oh, it's funny actually. I have just said all that, but like, yeah, each story was made up of parts that you had to watch week by week. So maybe I'm talking shite.
Interesting.
And moving on.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. What happened in this episode?
Alright, hang on. Oh yeah. I liked the bit when the massive strong robot struggles to get out of a door.
I wrote that down too. My favourite part is when he gets stuck in the door.
They must have just been like, oh, we haven't got the money to do this.
Just keep going.
Again.
Come on.
It's funny.
Come on.
Sometimes you see something like that. Did that just happen on set when the actor couldn't go through the door? Maybe.
I also wrote their escape is so stupid. But I don't.
Oh yes, I know you're right. It is stupid because they've got. Is it Jellicoe? Jellicoe is his name, wasn't he? And he's like shepherding the robot to the truck, and they're just being surrounded by guys shooting at them.
Yeah.
I just said long scene shooting in the courtyard. I was like, what are you even doing?
What are you doing?
Proper like.
I was like, shoot. I was like, I'm not a soldier, but I would shoot the tires on the van. They were getting away, and I just thought, like, come on.
Surrounded by soldiers that just stood in one place and shot at them, and nothing happened.
It was so funny, and that scene went on for minutes of them just being like, oh no, they're getting away, and it was so. And I was like,
no.
A door stopped him. You can stop him.
Also, just shoot him in the knees. He's got knees.
I reckon if you ran at that robot
He'd fall over.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Top heavy.
Absolutely. That's a man on stilts.
We are. I guess the soldiers don't necessarily
not,
know,
it's
but
got
we
knees.
know from the POV that his eyesight is trash.
It's terrible.
Terrible
Exactly.
eyesight. So you can like.
You just got to be really fast.
Yeah.
And he
true.
can't see you.
Yeah.
Or be behind him.
Yeah.
And he can't see it at all.
Just constantly stand by, and if he moves, just move with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to take about 5 minutes to turn around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kettlewell being evil.
Well, I was
Kettlewell being
like,
evil, great twist.
Wow, I couldn't
That was a
believe
good
it.
twist. I'm confused by it, but it was a good twist.
I quite like this Scientific Reform Society because it kind of, it was a weird thing of like when they were talking about it, and it's like, God, we've just been dealing with these sorts of people
Forever. Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you think of these people now, like, and they have a bit, just feel that, I think they feel a wee bit more empowered now, but just sort of mad people that believe mad things, meeting up in groups and.
Hilda would have been massive on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she would be her blue tick. She would be getting so much revenue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She'd be a big mad turf as well.
But oh yeah, definitely. But I did enjoy Sarah Jane's comment. She said, "I'll put you between the UFO guys and the flat earthers."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like Sarah Jane in this episode.
You did.
I thought she was I thought bad journalist.
Yeah,
like
she gets too invested.
She got too emotional. She got messy, I thought, because she was like, "Well, fuck you stupid little boys. I'm gonna find another way in." I'm like, "Don't show your cards." You know what I mean? Like,
It just felt like they didn't really have a story for her.
What are you talking about? She had loads to do. Her whole thing was
to be emotional and connect with the robot.
But she was the one that got through to the robot.
Yeah.
She was kind of the one that was like, she was the one person that saw the robot as a living thing, that treated the robot like it was a.
No, the scientist, the evil
The scientists were just more. He treated it like an invention.
yeah, he was a bit more functional, where he was like, "I put in this data, so it does this," but she was like, "But it's a thing.
Yeah, it's
I
got,
love it.
It's got a voice, so it's
the
obviously a
robot."
real thing. Sorry. No, you're right. You are right, actually, because the scientist did have a bit of a fatherly vibe when he was.
Yeah,
like,
I wrote "Daddy is dead" down here.
Okay, well, they kind of wrote him like as a dad, so they could have the Oedipus
a bit like
thing.
Geppetto.
Well, it was just it's a bit like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah,
because I thought you might
coming on
like
all that.
this because you're a big fan of like Gothic literature, right?
Yeah.
So I was a bit like, "Oh, Leah's gonna love this episode."
No, I really didn't enjoy it at all, which I'm surprised by. I genuinely am surprised by it because every time you make me watch one and I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be terrible," I really like it, and I don't know what it is about. I think it was too.
Do you know what it is for me actually when I was watching
army.
it? The thing that when I was watching it, there was a couple of things that I thought, I was like, I hate when.
Oh my god, Richie hates Doctor Who.
No, that's no. I just like things like the toy tank, for example. The toy tank is a great example of seeing it and going, this is what people think Doctor Who is. Like, this is what people think old Doctor Who is. And then so
And it's true,
like,
it is.
And
then,
don't forget the robot carrying a little tiny.
The
Oh my god, the doll!
That was my favorite thing ever.
Oh my god, the doll and the legs.
So there was a few and like the big lumbering like robot. Like I think like old Doctor Who's got a lot of good character designs, but because of the tight turnaround, as soon as you put a guy inside that suit, whatever it is, and it starts wandering about, you're like, that's shite.
That's a man in a suit.
That's a man in a suit. That's why you realise now, like why all in modern films when people have to play monkeys or whatever,
Yeah.
they'll
Like
always
Robbie
have
Williams.
to. They'll have like Robbie Williams. They'll have to be. You'll always see a video of like a room, a gym hall full of actors, and some mad person showing them how to walk about like a monkey.
Yeah, I think I just found the whole story just a little bit. I feel really bad because I feel like I'm really shitting on the episode.
No.
And I didn't expect to. I kind of expected to find, like the last one that we did. Yeah, there was so many fun moments in it, and like it was so much fun. Like just making fun of them in Paris, ridiculous, all that stuff. Whereas like I didn't get that. Like this one didn't feel silly enough.
I know.
For it to be fun.
Yeah, I've made a mistake. I'm going to put my hands up here and say it. I've made a mistake. But I think the problem is it's been a while since I watched it myself. But like, it's funny watching it and seeing it from your point of view and being like, and realising things like this Tom Baker's first episode. So there's a lot of like finding their feet in terms of how wacky and different he's going to be, because he's playing it so differently from the previous guy.
Right.
The previous guy's a lot. I mean, he does do humour, and he does, like, you know, he can be funny, but he plays it a lot straighter, a bit more like he's the gentleman kind of doctor.
Also, there was no alien. He was the only alien.
I know, you said this last time. I should have brought you a spacey one, shouldn't I?
But the other one was kind of spacey, because it was still like an alien, like inside a man's body.
Yeah.
She should have shot him in Paris, but anyway. But yeah, there was no alien. It didn't feel very Doctor Who, and I'm saying that as I know someone who's watched the newer ones. But for me, it just didn't. It felt like an episode of Dad's Army. It just felt too army-ish, and I feel like I'm being a bit low. I've got like a low ebb about it because I don't really have anything.
That's okay.
It seemed like there was quite a lot of just like standing around in it, just like the army. I think I just wrote army not very good. Also, just did a lot of just like, all right, well, I guess that's happening. Well.
I like how like the Brigadier was all about, we need to be secret, blah blah blah, and he's got a big fucking giant thing that says unit across his chest, and then on the cars. It's like, what?
Also, I wrote a note. I can't remember exactly what it was. Was it getting into the think tank maybe? But Sonic Screwdriver, when that comes out, and there's like a scene where he's like, he's obviously like burning plastic.
Oh yeah.
But I just thought I wonder what the actors actually inhaled at that point.
Yeah.
Because it did see. I was like,
it did look like he was burning it with like a little Bic lighter.
Yeah. I thought like, wow.
I know that's the only time the Sonic Screwdriver's been turned into a lance as well.
It was, yeah.
But he did use he even used the Sonic Screwdriver to blow up the mines. That was good. We're just like, let's just get some explosions in here.
Good. Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I felt sorry for the soldier that got stood on by the big giant robot foot.
Yeah.
Just a little.
He probably had time to get out of the way though.
I love
he
as well.
Definitely had time to get out of the way.
I know. I also love the thing when I'm watching it as well is like they established really early on that shooting that robot does not do a thing.
They continued to shoot
and
it.
they just spend the entire episode.
Minutes.
I think we'll just shoot them.
Exactly.
Actually, I think we'll just keep shooting them. Maybe this rocket launcher will help.
No.
The tank will though. This will definitely help.
Yeah,
the little toy tank. Oh no, sorry, it's a toy.
I did like the Brigadier's line of like one day we'll meet something that's not immune to bullets. Something like that. One thing I want to mention is that the growing effect.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
They didn't really explain that at all,
I
did
really
they?
enjoyed it. Oh, they said that he invented this metal that could grow.
So
it's like a living metal.
Yes.
It was also the thing
that
there was
was feeding it.
Oh,
basically.
so the energy just made it right. Okay.
So when he shot it with a disintegrator gun, he had his big like, I'm going to sort this out this time.
Oh yeah,
and he shoots it and then it fucking grows because
actually, okay, that does make sense. I suppose.
I also loved when the robot was holding the disintegrator gun, and like for everyone listening, it's like his wrist was broken and he was just like flopping around this gun.
Because I really
so bad.
What I thought that was going to happen was we were going to take off the arm and
like
replace it with the gun.
That was maybe too Dalek-like. Because also when we were watching the first episode and we saw the POV, I was like, oh my god,
Dalek.
Is this a Dalek POV? I was like, this is gonna be great. Even though I think the Daleks are not I was about to say rubbish, but I don't want people to go and kill me. They're not my favourite of all of the baddies.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, cool, a Dalek POV, this is great. But no, and it really annoyed me that the POV effect of like the diamonds or whatever looks nothing like the robot's face.
Yeah.
There is no indication that is a part of its face at all. So
what did you think about the robot? Did you like? I liked the robot.
I thought he was quite nice. I thought he was misunderstood.
I thought so too.
Like he was very confused.
Yeah, he was just a poor robot that was getting manipulated.
Exactly, a little robot.
I was really sad when he got his robot virus.
Yeah, that's
such a shame.
That was sad.
I can't believe that you made us watch such a sad story.
I mean, obviously, it's like
Christmas.
it's like riffing on like King Kong and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, when he picks her up on that.
And then puts her on the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would it even mention? Because that's so obvious that it's not even worth mentioning. Sorry. But you know what? But you have the same sadness at the end of King Kong when King Kong's like.
I've never seen King Kong.
Oh right, you ever seen the 80s one with is it Jeff Bridges? I can't remember.
Is he King Kong?
No.
Alright. I've never seen any King Kong.
Alright, okay.
Or Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
or like
there's
Kong
a Peter
versus
Jackson King Kong. I forgot about that as well. It's like.
Oh, with Naomi Watts and.
I never saw that one either. Is Jack Black in it?
I think
Is he
Jack
King
Black
Kong?
isn't it?
No, he's not King Kong.
Who plays King Kong in these films?
Is the King Kong's just a big monkey?
Andy Serkis.
Oh, so King Kong definitely.
Well, I think it probably is Andy Serkis for the Peter Jackson one.
So King Kong he's not someone who gets turned into a gorilla.
No.
Are you thinking of Planet of the Apes? Where that doesn't happen
No,
either.
don't get started Planet of the Apes. Oh my god.
I only just started watching I haven't watched them all, but I watched the James Franco one, and I did not expect to get so emotionally invested in
it's so
Caesar.
good.
Did you
It's
not
so
think
good.
that they were all in space? We were watching that, so I've only ever seen one film, and we watched the James Franco one, and like halfway through, I was like, when are they going to space?
You know what was so annoying is like.
Realised I knew nothing about.
What was it for like? Honest to God, and I mean years for most of our relationship. Like, we should watch Planet of the Apes, and Leah's like, I hate Planet of the Apes, and I'm like, do you? She's like, oh, I just hated all those films, like, and giving me all that, and I realised she just says these things to deflect me.
How many years was it before you realised that?
Well, so when we started
Leah does
watching, we started watching Planet of the Apes, the James Franco one, and she was like, so when did they go? And I was like, what are you talking about? When did they go to Planet of the Apes? And I was like, do you know anything about Planet of the Apes? And she went, no. I was like, what about, like, it's got one of the most well-known endings of all time.
Or even just that bit from The Simpsons.
The Simpsons!
That's what he said. He was like, what about the Simpsons episode? The reason I don't like it is because I've got a lot of memories of like not being allowed in the living room or not being allowed to talk or watch telly because my dad would be watching Planet of the Apes when I was really wee. So I'm just like, I fucking hate Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
But
King Kong
it's
doesn't get.
time
It's
to
not
reclaim
a fella that gets turned into a monkey.
yeah, so is he just a giant monkey?
Just a
a
giant
giant
monkey.
gorilla?
It's a giant monkey that they find, from what I understand,
Is it
on a
Monster
planet?
Island? No.
and it's a big island. It's got a big face of a gorilla, handily, or is it like Skull
Island.
Skull Island, and danger.
I don't know a lot about
And is
King
he
Kong
from
lore.
Planet and there's no crossover?
He's not from Planet. Well, is he?
Could be.
I don't know. Maybe one day there'll be a crossover.
Well, a Planet of the Apes where they just have one of the apes is fucking enormous.
Yeah.
Why
He
not?
is the planet.
We got Kong in, by the way. This is going to turn everything in our favour. It is huge.
He's got mad POV, bullets can't stop him, and he can't go through doors.
But a mad scientist has developed an anti-monkey virus, so we better be careful with that.
I thought you were telling me the plot of King Kong. I was like, wow, this really is like this.
It's just like this. He keeps it in a bucket.
Oh my god, the bucket! Throwing the bucket! And they go back to fucking what's his face's house / lab, and they're just literally mixing coloured dye with like fairy liquid.
That's brilliant. That's great.
That's
Come
your
on.
favourite part.
That was great. And like when he turns up, come on, when it's like been, the whole thing's just been loads of guys with guns, like, and the doctor turns up in a fucking clown car with a
It's just a
bucket,
little bit of paint. It's great.
with a big pail,
It
and he's
is
like
good.
slaps it over, and that's amazing.
It was
No, that is the best part. That is so good, and it's very Doctor Who.
It's pure Doctor Who, yeah.
But why couldn't he just use this? Oh, he couldn't use a sonic screwdriver on him because that would charge him up. Even more.
Oh, yeah.
What would his sonic screwdriver do?
I thought the sonic screwdriver can do anything.
No, that's fair. That's a
It
fair.
can literally do. It's magical.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not
Just switch him
magical,
off.
It's like power him down.
I feel like the evil people. Was it the scientists? What's it called? The Science Reform Society.
Yeah.
They weren't very well organised, were they?
No.
Because the
Even
fact
though they
that
seem
were
to have
like-
people all around the world.
Because they were just like, okay, we've set the codes. Nuclear war will happen very soon. 10 minutes. Oh, should we go and check if we've got any beans? And it's like they didn't check if they had any supplies.
Yeah, they weren't. Also, How did no one see her hiding behind those, like that trestle table in the back of the fucking community hall?
Because the lights were off.
She's a great investigative journalist, that's why.
She was terrified. She could also see them coming for her for ages. When the robot
My favourite thing was when the robot comes off the stage and it's coming down the stairs and it cuts away for ages. And then it cuts back and the robot's at the bottom of the stairs.
Winters is a good character. She plays evil bitch quite well.
Yeah, she was good. She was
very like almost like maniacal.
Yeah,
it was quite fun.
But sorry, I was going to say the funny thing watching it was like the nuclear threat thing, the whole nuclear. I was like, I always forget about this because it's such a weird it's just an excuse. It's like it's not a real threat. It's just an excuse for everything that's going on.
I mean, it's a threat in our time now.
Was it not a threat then?
No, I don't mean that like nuclear war isn't a threat.
Real
I just
nuclear
mean
denier over here.
I just meant in the story, it's not played. It's just this is going on.
It's
I
just
did
the
really
background noise.
I really loved the moment when the brigadier's talking about the plan. How they're like, all the superpowers in the world got together, and they had to give. They were like, so they've given all the nuclear codes, and they need to find a trustworthy country, and of course. That's Great Britain.
The rest are foreigners.
But then when the doctor says, of course, I mean everyone else is a foreigner, aren't they? And then the brigadier goes, well, yes, of course. And then there's that. You realise he's been led into. I mean, obviously. I mean, that's self-aware. That's not.
No.
Professor Kettlewell? Yes, this is the doctor.
Doctor, you've got to help me. The robot has come to my house. I've got him hidden, but he's very unstable. I may not be able to control him. We must keep him out of the hands of those think tank people. They've driven him almost insane.
I mean, if you got more notes you want to talk about?
I mean, I wrote nuclear holocaust. Merry Christmas.
I did write. I didn't like seeing the doctor's feet in part 1.
Do you see his feet?
Yeah, I mean
his bare feet.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was really. It was a bit like disconcerting. Very pale, very old man pale feet.
Yeah, Tom Baker's got quite a. He's definitely the sort of man where you're like, I don't want to see your feet. Not in a weird way, just in a sort of like, I bet your feet reek.
People out there definitely want to see his feet. I think we should probably, I don't know, like in the description if you want to put down like a time code or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Just be like, by the way, if you want to see
his feet,
it's at whatever timestamp this is.
What did you make of Tom Baker? Just as a Doctor Who in general.
I mean, this is the thing, like, because I don't really have much to compare it against.
No.
And the last time I felt like I was deeply annoyed by David Tennant. And
It was so funny is I didn't realise, but when we sat down to record it, the first thing Laura said was like, "Oh, it's just I don't like David Tennant." I was like, "Oh fuck, right." Okay,
which episode did you do?
It was the Kylie Minogue one.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kylie. But he just annoyed me. I was like, you're just so eager. I was like, just calm down a wee bit.
He's the world's nicest man.
I'm not saying David Tennant himself. I think David Tennant sounds like a lovely man.
Yeah. Okay,
from everything that I've heard, from people that I know that have met him, and just from stories, lovely man. I thought David Tennant in that episode you forced me to watch last time was very annoying.
Okay.
And I also thought that the Doctor was quite annoying, but I quite liked the way, like, but also it's like the Doctor or the British Army, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was like, these guys suck, and I like that he was sort of like, Brigadier seemed nice, but I'm sorry, but he's the British Army, so I can't be a fan. And I think I wrote a note as well, that he fucks off in the TARDIS to get out of a meeting at the palace, and I was like, ally. I was like, good for him. Where he's like, oh, you want me to meet the king or queen or whoever?
Nah.
I'm away.
See ya.
So I liked that, and I thought that he was. Do you know what? He had a wackiness that I thought this is going to get real annoying, but I didn't mind it too much.
Okay.
I liked the scarf. I liked that the scarf did. I know you hated the scarf, and I thought that's interesting.
No, you can't say that I hated the scarf because it's iconic.
No, but you just said that you hated the scarf. You found it annoying.
It's unruly.
Unruly. It's like its own. it's its own
character.
entity.
Yeah, it's its
yeah.
own
And I
character.
like the way that it was like whoop, 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 and like doing things.
That it picked up that magnet.
Tripping people up, and I thought, great. Is that technically a companion?
No, the scarf
is the
doesn't
TARDIS
continue
technically a companion? Yes.
No,
it's his
The
wife.
TARDIS is the longest standing companion.
See, you've got like the TARDIS being a woman in your head from
that episode. That's my favourite episode.
But I think he was quite annoying. But I think that in a way that just he's like a kooky character.
Yeah. He's very sort of bohemian and very kind of like the whole thing. Yeah, I mean the thing with the Doctor has always been like he's a bit bumbly and a bit thing, but that's all just sort of him being disarming to hide the fact that he's also in charge of the situation and getting
everything
done.
That's how I do it.
Yeah.
That's how
I've got half of it down. Yeah.
What did you think, Leah?
I quite like Tom Baker.
You've done more of him though.
Yeah, I do quite like him. I find him quite authoritative, but in like a nice, like in an interesting way.
Okay.
I think he is, for me, the iconic Doctor. Like he's the Doctor that I obviously didn't watch when I was a kid, but he's the Doctor that I knew of like before we met.
Yeah.
Like he's like he is like the Doctor to me.
Yeah, it's funny when you say he's authoritative because he's authoritative while being anti-authority.
Yeah,
it's kind of a.
I think he's just very like commanding, and I don't mean that in a. I think like just as like an actor.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about Doctor Who is that whoever is playing the character always is like the main point of interest and everything. Like we watched an episode, a Peter Capaldi one yesterday, that was stinking. It was a terrible episode, but because he was in the middle of it being amazing, it was like I'm still enjoying myself because he's here. But also there's just little things about the character, like he inspires confidence in other people, he inspires trust, and there's just so many things about him that the way he's written, it's like he can never be too serious, but at the same time people trust him to they'll trust him with with their lives.
Yeah, like he's not silly.
It's like you get on a plane and a pilot does a little introduction and then they make a little joke and you're like, you're like, do you know what? I respect you. I feel happy. If I'm like, even though there's turbulence, you're gonna get me.
You're still a person, but I trust you.
Yeah.
I mean, every actor's brought something kind of different to it, but I think like Tom Baker takes a lot from what came before, but it feels like he's like the archetype now for everyone else.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. Like I see more of the Tom Baker character in like the Doctors that follow.
Yeah.
And I feel like you need to stop getting me on this podcast as someone who's never seen Doctor Who before, because I obviously live with you, so I've been exposed to a lot of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I feel quite out of my depth right now because you guys are like talking about the philosophy of Who and is the TARDIS even an entity? And I'm just like nodding, being like,
the TARDIS is definitely an entity and is technically
a woman.
The longest standing companion.
Yes,
because it is alive. Like the TARDIS is alive.
Bring it back to things that I know about. A thing that I noticed that he seems to do, and I don't know if it was like a continuity thing or like a choice. He takes his hat off before he goes into like a scene. Quite a lot. Like if he goes into.
He did do that a lot. Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, is that just them being like, the hat will fall off? It's dumb. And so do you think they made a costume like a bad costume decision? We're like, well, we've got to go with a hat now, but we realise how impractical it is.
Well, the hat did fall off in the very so obviously the outfit is the first scene of the hat, and then when he jumps out of the car, when they get the hat falls off, and he looks back and he's just goes like that. And then he keeps going. So he probably was just like, well, the hat is
stupid decision.
Fucked.
Yeah.
But that's me now.
And then every time I noticed he went into. Because I think I noticed the car thing first, and then everything else he was like, oh, stop for a second.
And he kept giving his hat to the Brigadier. He was just like crunching it up.
Yeah.
Like a piece of paper. Then he'd put it back on and it'd be like all messed up.
Is that something that continues throughout his entire
I feel like
tenure?
his hat is there, but I think eventually it just kind of
He doesn't wear it all the time.
doesn't wear it all the time. No, but like I said, it's funny actually. It was funny watching it with you guys again and suddenly coming up with this context of being like really thinking about the performance and all that sort of stuff. And it is interesting to watch that episode and be like, this is a guy who's thrown himself really into it, because his first big famous role, because like there's just like the story about how he was like, he got cast as the character and then had to go back to work as a brickie.
Oh,
really?
For a while, but
is that why he keeps slamming his hand on the bricks?
Oh, maybe.
Is that why he
But
keeps like making cement?
Why he keeps
And
rolling
wolf
bags.
whistling at ladies.
I'm
wearing a hard hat. What's going on?
Like,
that bit where he's wearing a high vis.
So the story goes is that until he was able to go and do the job, he couldn't tell anyone, so he had to go back to work, and he was working on a building site, and then on the last day it was like everyone read it in the papers that he was Doctor Who.
That's mad.
Which must have been mad. You just can't imagine an actor being like coming off a building site.
Just be like, right, see you.
Yeah.
Now then, what can I do to entertain you till my friend the Brigadier arrives? A little song? Little dance, perhaps? Not just a little dance? Anyone for cards?
Don't just stand there, you idiots! Get him!
Now for my next trick, I shall require the assistance of a member of the audience.
What did I like about the episode? I liked that it was early days of him. I like seeing him playing with the character and really throwing himself into it, really going for it, and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. I like it because it's a crossover. It's a very light crossover between the last era, which is John Pertwee, and Tom Baker's era, because we've got like a lot of Pertwee was working with Unit, and then Tom Baker just disappears. Like when they get in the TARDIS and go off, we don't see the Brigadier until I think it's the next season.
Okay.
So we don't see him for a while, and then the next time we see him, that's his last for like 10 years or something. So I like that there's like it's a bit of it's not an anomaly, but it's unusual because it's a bit of we're still in the last phase, but we're moving into the next phase. And I like when the robot goes really big.
I just like that. I don't know, when he carried her, that was good.
It was very funny to watch that. What did you say when I can't remember. You had a reaction because you didn't know it was coming. So when the robot got really big, you went, "Oh."
Yeah, I think I was just like, "Oh my god, that's a doll." I thought he was still holding it, but it was actually just a wee doll.
It's also funny me making this mistake of showing this.
It's not a mistake.
No, but I mean, like watching it, I mean, like I definitely could have chosen a better episode, because it really is that phenomenon of like once you finish watching an episode of Doctor Who, what it becomes in your head is something almost completely different from what it was on screen.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it for a while, you're like, that's a great story.
I don't think you can bring me back as a guest for a third time. I think there might be a revolt.
Is this you saying I don't want to do this?
No, I would do it again with a better episode.
You love Doctor Who, is what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, job done. I'll see you again.
Laura still hates Doctor Who.
No, I'm open to learning more, but.
Would you watch more David Tennant Doctor Who?
Maybe, because I mean, from what I could gather from the YouTube comments at the time, was everyone was like, "Why did you pick that episode, Richie? That's a stinker." And people
there's a lot of mixed opinions. Some people really hate that episode.
For me, yeah. I saw the Angels one, I think, just because. Is that your fave?
I love Matt Smith.
I never realised this until recently, but women love Matt Smith.
Yeah.
They really love Matt Smith.
He's tidy. But yeah,
well, maybe I should be watching some Matt Smith then, if all the girlies are watching a bit of Smith.
He is a good doctor.
Okay.
You do fall in love with him like 400 times. This is why I feel like I can't be a guest on this podcast, because I do actually really like Doctor Who.
That's okay. No, but that's why I'll only make you watch the old ones, because I know you don't.
Because I fucking hate them. They're rough.
Casanova. That reminds me. 1580. That's all right. Casanova doesn't get born for 145 years. Don't want to run into him. I owe him a chicken. You owe Casanova a chicken. Long story, we had a bet.
Let's round this up. What are we all saying about this episode then? It's a no from me.
It's a no from you. It's Laura.
I thought it had heart. I really liked the robot, and I thought, well, because I kept searching for a Christmas story in it, because I was like, why is Richie maybe watch this? And I liked, and I think just with chats about AI and things like that, and I just think, oh yeah, I really loved that humanity of the robot, and then how the Doctor just fucking killed him. I loved how they explored that story, and then it was just yeah.
I know if it was a modern episode, the Doctor would have cried.
Yeah.
About killing the robot, but this one was like, it was a good robot. Then Sarah Jane's like, it's just really sad to be. No, you're right, it was.
But he's dead now.
Anyway, shall we go?
Shall we? Are we going?
Where to? Doesn't matter. I think it could have been 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Same as the last one. Remember, I was like, they didn't need that middle one. Could have been 3. Also, they just kidnapped Harry at the end. They didn't give him a choice about going anywhere. They just said, "Do you want to come inside and have a look?"
Oh yeah.
And then he's away.
Poor Harry.
Yeah, I think
that's not fair.
He's having a nice time.
Is he? They want you to think he's having a nice time, but he's been kidnapped.
They got a nice dynamic in that season. Harry, Sarah, and the Doctor.
Do Harry and Sarah get together? Are they not?
No.
Why is there nothing? Why is there nothing like that?
Absolutely.
No pumping.
No hanky panky in the TARDIS, as they say.
Is that what they say?
That's literally what they say.
I don't need hanky panky, but why is there no love stories?
The love story is just the love of adventure.
Well, Laura, thank you very much for coming down, and thank you very much for watching the episode.
You are so welcome. That is your gift. That is your Christmas gift.
Merry Christmas.
And Leah, thank you very much for doing the same.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Please pick better episodes next time. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I need to speak to my Doctor Who group chat and be the one. They haven't expressed any opinion on Robot. I'll see what they say. But it should be fun.
I think we should all agree to call it Robot.
Robot. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Enjoy Christmas Doctor Who if you're watching it. If you're not, enjoy something else. Gavin and Stacey, I don't know.
Have a good
Wallace and Gromit
2025.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And everybody should watch the new Wallace and Gromit episode, because apparently they've run out of clay.
What? In the world?
Yeah, there's no more Gromit clay. So this will be the last.
What?
That can't be true.
I read an article.
Sure they'll find
about
out.
it.
I mean, sure they'll find out.
They're not making any more. This is the last. Wait, which one's the dog? Is that Gromit? Or the yeah. So there's no more.
What do you mean no more Gromit?
How can you not?
How can they do all those other characters but not do Gromit?
They were just saying that this is the last Wallace and Gromit that they're ever going to make.
I'm going to have to verify this.
I'm going to verify it right now. Where did I see this?
You saw it on a TikTok, didn't you?
I think you dreamt this.
Every time Leah comes up with something like this, I'm like, did you read this in a news story or did you see it in a TikTok? Because there's a good chance it's bullshit. They've run out of clay.
The next Wallace and Gromit film is expected to be the last ever due to the studio running out of clay. The studio behind Wallace and Gromit, Aardman, is running out of clay because the company that manufactures it is shutting down. Aardman has said that they only have enough clay to make the next Wallace and Gromit film, which is scheduled to be released in 2024.
Can't they just get a new supplier?
I don't know.
The boy that gives us the clay, he's
You just got a new job. He's Doctor Who now.
He's Doctor Who.
Well, there you go. Apology?
I'm sorry. I mean, I still don't believe it.
You still need to verify it yourself.
Yeah. I'm going to need to see that with my own eyes, because that's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Not even to run out of clay. It's just the folk that send us the clay. There's no other way to get clay.
They obviously make this very special, specific type of clay that they've been using for fucking 30 years or something.
But why just Wallace and Gromit? Surely Aardman has to shut down because their whole thing is clay.
I don't know.
Yeah, and on that bombshell.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Enjoy it
Happy
while
New
you can.
Year. Bye.
Bye. Say bye, Laura.
Bye.